We've got to have every young person contribute, earning those high school diplomas.
Barack Obama at the BTW Memphis graduation.
We can't succeed without it. Through education, you can also better yourselves in other ways. You learn how to learn, how to think critically and find solutions to unexpected challenges. I remember we used to ask our teachers, why am I going to need algebra? Well, you may not have to solve for X to get a good job or to be a good parent, but you will need to think through tough problems. You'll need to think on your feet. You'll need to know how to gather facts and evaluate information. So, math teachers, you can tell your students that the president said they need algebra. Education also teaches you the value of discipline. That the greatest rewards come not from instant gratification, but from sustained effort and from hard work. This is a lesson that's especially true today. In a culture that prizes flash over substance, that tells us that the goal in life is to be entertained, that says you can be famous just for being famous. May you get on a reality show, don't know what you've done, suddenly you're famous. But that's not going to lead to lasting, sustained achievement. And finally, with the right education, both at home and at school, you can learn how to be a better human being. For when you read a great story, or you learn about an important moment in history, it helps you imagine what it would be like to walk in somebody else's shoes, to know their struggles. The success of our economy will depend on your skills, but the success of our community will depend on your ability to follow the golden rule, to treat others as you would like to be treated. We've seen how important this is even in the past few weeks as communities here in Memphis and all across the South have come together to deal with floodwaters and to help each other in the aftermath of terrible tornadoes. All of these qualities, empathy, discipline, the capacity to solve problems, the capacity to think critically, these skills don't just change how the world sees us, they change how we see ourselves. They allow each of us to seek out new horizons and new opportunities with confidence, with the knowledge that we're ready, that we can face obstacles and challenges and unexpected setbacks. That's the power of your education. That's the power of the diploma that you received today. And this is something that Booker T. Washington himself understood. Think about it. He entered this world a slave on a southern plantation. But he would leave this world as the leader of a growing civil rights movement and president of the world-famous Tuskegee Institute. Booker T. Washington believed that change and equality would be won in the classroom. So he convinced folks to help him buy farmland. Once he had the land, he needed a school. So he assigned his first students to actually build the chairs and the desks and even a couple of the classrooms. You thought your teachers were tough. Booker T. Washington ran a tight ship. He'd ride the train to Tuskegee and scare some of the new students. This is before YouTube and TMZ, so the kids didn't recognize him. He'd walk up to them and say, "Oh, you're heading to Tuskegee. I heard the work there is hard. I heard they give the students too much to do. I hear the food is terrible. You probably won't last 3 months." But the students would reply, they weren't afraid of hard work. They were going to complete their studies no matter what Booker T. Washington threw at them. And in that way, he prepared them. Because life will throw some things at you. Truth is, not a single one of the graduates here today has had it easy. Not a single one of you had anything handed to you on a silver platter. You had to work for it. You had to earn it. Most of all, you had to believe in yourselves. I think of Chris's stories and what he's faced in his life. Lost his father to violence at the age of 4. Had a childhood illness. They could have been debilitating. But somehow he knew in his heart that he could take a different path. I think of all the graduates here who had to leave their homes when their apartments were torn down, but who took 2 buses each morning to come back to Booker T. Washington. I think of Eron Jackson. Where's Eron?